truly believe if we didn't get that coaching back then and we were on the same trajectory that we were on prior, our son would have been out of our house. He told me when he was 14, I'm going to be out of here as soon as I can. And he lived at home until he was 30. So, like, if we hadn't changed the way we chose to connect in relationship with him at that young age, then we would definitely not have the connection and the relationship we have today. So it's not like our coach said, if you have a revolting child in your home, like a disrespectful, a disobedient, a challenging child, don't look at the child, just take a look in the mirror, because it's really about how we're responding to the child, and how we're making the child feel. So yeah, as I say, I could just talk about this forever. We could get onto all sorts of topics here. And we've been all over the place, haven't we?
No, that's fine because it's such a parenting and relationships, all the different forms are so interconnected because it starts with the home. I will
Yes.
always say that everything always starts with the home. And when you
Yeah.
mention that you had a challenging child, and I know you went into detail in our previous conversation and you made it work, there's some parents out there who are still struggling with that. They can't figure it out. And there's times where I talk to some parents and they will say that they're not the issue. The issue is, well, I gave birth to this demon child. He's the seed of the devil. All this other sayings. But what do you like the people that you deal with? What seems to be a commonality that is preventing them from saying, you know what? I play a part in this, and I need to understand, acknowledge, and resolve my part before I can ask anyone else to resolve theirs.
Oh, you hit the nail on the head there. And what I've done with my coaching over the years is I used to focus more on how can we help the parent have a better relationship with the child. But now it's how can we heal the parent and help them to see themselves in a better light. So build their inner wealth as well. So how can a broken parent their child in a positive and uplifting and positive way? We have to work almost simultaneously on healing the parent and their trauma from perhaps their own childhood before we can actually help them to parent their child in the way they want. And I've told this story thousands of times, and I may have shared this with you last time, but I think if you're a parent listening, this is really important. So I've written 6 books. And when I wrote my 3rd book, The Revolting Child, A Blessing in Disguise, which is my favorite book, it's our story from my pregnancy right through until our son turned just short of 16. So we talk about that healing journey from 14 to 16. You can download that for free off my website. But we did a book launch, and I'm pretty sure I would have shared this with you, but I'll say it again. We did a book launch, and my son was invited along. So he's now turned 16. There were about 250 or so people in the room. My husband and I shared our story and our journey, and my son was just sitting up the back. He wasn't participating. He was just there. And when we did the Q&A, a gentleman put his hand up and said, "Can I ask your son a question?" And he's up the back, and I kind of looked across at him, like, "Oh, okay." He wasn't really all that excited about it, but he stood up, and this gentleman asked a simple but profound question. And he said, "Caleb, we've just heard the story your parents have shared about your journey, and particularly what's transpired in the last 12 months from revolting child to a lot of healing." And he said, "What was it, Caleb, that took you from where you were, getting in trouble at school, kicked out of school, in trouble with the police, oppositional, aggressive in the home, um, totally, not in the place we wanted him to be, to where you are now?" And I don't mean that we'd healed 100%. I don't think we ever heal 100%, but we were like 80 or 90% better than we were, 10 months prior. And I actually thought, well, what a great question. I've never thought to ask that question before. So I was fully ready to listen to my son's response. And I could see his mind just tick over for a few seconds before he answered. And what he answered was so simple but so profound. He said, when I saw the effort that my mum and dad went to or were going to be the best parents they could be, I just wanted to be the best son. And so if you are a parent out there, and it still makes me feel emotional, if you are a parent out there and you're struggling, your kids are looking to see that you see them. They're looking to see that you're acknowledging them for who they are. And even if who they are is not who you want them to be as a parent, if the child, if it's not even who you want them to be in this moment, but just see them for who they are. See the greatness that you see in them, even if it's not perfection. Look for the opportunities to acknowledge their greatness, their qualities, their respectfulness, their kindness, their thoughtfulness, their savviness, their sense of humor. Like, see the child for who they are, because when we parents make the effort to show that child we see them, the child sees us seeing them.